With a new year quickly approaching, I'm sure some of us have some big financial goals we want to achieve in 2022. And I always get DMs about how to budget, how to start with budgeting. And I figured with 2022 just around the corner, this was the perfect time to sit down and take you guys through step by step on how to create a budget that works for you.
Hello everybody, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for today's video. I feel like it's very overdue, and you guys obviously see me do monthly budgets and monthly resets, and I recently just did a video on how I budget my paychecks and how to budget for beginners, how to start budgeting, because I feel like that's a topic that can seem really overwhelming and hard, but it's actually super easy, and it's just as hard or as easy as you make it. The number one question I get in my DMs and comments on those kinds of videos, for any financial video, is how do I start budgeting? How do I do this? This looks super hard, and I'm here to break it down for you guys in a few easy steps because it's truly so simple and easy, and like I said, it's as easy or as hard as you make it. So I'm super excited to get into today's video. I feel like budgeting is something that society views as restrictive and like restrictive spending. Budgeting quite literally just shows you how much money you're bringing in, how much you're spending, and looking at your fixed and variable expenses and any financial goals you have. Like, it doesn't need to be this restricted frame of mind. That being said, budgeting just maybe isn't for everybody. I have a few friends who literally just have automated savings on their bank accounts, and like that's it. They don't really track how much they're spending going out or anything like that, and that's also totally fine. But if you are looking to maybe pay off some debt, or save for a house, or save for a rainy day, or pay off a credit card, I think budgeting is a really great place to start to get your financial goals and your spending in check. It's a big mind frame shift. Instead of viewing budgeting as restrictive and not being able to spend, I feel like you can view it as a way to achieve your financial goals and give yourself more financial freedom. I just want to say, disclaimer, that these are just like my steps. You guys can do things differently. You can do it in a different order. You might have a different frame of mind, and that's okay. I'm just sharing what worked for me when I started budgeting, and that's all. But if you have any suggestions, leave them down below. Everyone is going to be different. And the one thing I have to say before I start, which I will reiterate in every step, is that it's going to take trial and error. You're not going to watch my videos and budget the exact same way that I do. And if you do, then you're probably one of like the rare ones, but it's going to take some trial and error. My budget spreadsheet took me like 3 years to really figure out what worked for me, and having that balance of Excel and EveryDollar, which is the budgeting app I use, is the perfect mix for me, but it took me a long time to figure that out. So it's okay if you don't get it right away, or if something doesn't work for you. I don't want you to give up on like the first budgeting app you tried, because this is like, no offense, it's a great app, but Mint, I tried Mint out and I hated it, and I didn't budget for a few months because I just didn't like it, and I thought that everything had to be that way, but it doesn't. It's going to be trial and error. You got to figure out what works for you and then stick with it. So that's like my little disclaimer, but let's jump into it. And the first step is to determine your why, determine your financial goals. This is key. It's really important to define your goals before you start, or maybe the financial stress of a goal is why you want to start. I know for me, last year when I graduated undergrad, I knew I wanted to pay off my student loans in a year, and so that was why I started budgeting, because I wanted to have control of my spending and be able to like grind and work towards paying those loans off. And it's also a nice like motivator, you know. Yours might not be debt if you're fortunate enough to not have any student loan debt or credit card debt. Yours might be just saving, but I think it's really important, and it's going to be what keeps you motivated on those low months, is that end goal. Some examples of financial goals might be getting out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle, avoiding overspending, saving for a down payment, for debt, and just staying on track with like long-term financial goals. Maybe saving $50,000 and your goal this year is to save 10,000 of that. As a psychology major in school, psychology plays a huge factor in how we view money and how we handle money. A lot of it is rooted in how we saw our parents grow up with money. They show that the process of having financial goals actually keeps you more on track with your budgeting, because you have this emotional involvement and motivation to achieving those goals. So super important. You can even brainstorm it, honestly. Take your piece of paper or an iPad or whatever you use and just brainstorm some 1 year, 5 year, and 10-year financial goals, and that might kickstart the motivation to figuring out your why. Is to gather up all of your financials and your spending habits, especially if you've never budgeted before. This is a great place to start. This does involve being really honest with yourself, and I can tell you guys, you might not feel good after doing this, but that's okay. That's also what's going to drive the budgeting to spend less on eating out or to spend less on treating yourself, etc. So before you can actually make a budget that's going to work for you, you need to get in tune with your current money habits. obviously. I would make a blank Excel spreadsheet, and it's super easy. You quite literally just need to have different categories. Like, you don't need to be an Excel whiz to do it. Break down your different categories like groceries, personal spending, coffee shops, takeout, restaurants, gas, etc. And then write down every single expense in that category and then total it up. And it'll give you kind of an idea of where your spending habits are at currently. Figure out where your money is currently going is like an essential part to creating a budget, and you're gonna get an idea for where you need to cut back and what places you want to keep a higher budget in that make you happy. For example, eating out doesn't really bring me happiness, but coffee shops do. So back on my eating out budget, and I had a bit higher of a coffee budget because it makes me happy. Once again, budgeting is not restrictive. You can still do things that you enjoy, and I encourage you guys to do that. I don't encourage you to cut off all spending, because I find you're just gonna like binge spend, and that's what happens to a lot of people. I think it's really healthy to keep in the things that you love, because that commits you in for the long haul and gives you that healthy relationship with money, if that makes sense. I just changed my camera battery, so I'm sorry if the angle changed or felt like I'm a little more zoomed out than I was. The next step is adding up your monthly income and your expenses. This is an obvious one. In order to budget, you need to know where your money's coming from, that's coming in every month to pay your bills and fund your spending. Obviously, there's going to be various ways that people have income. One of the most common questions I get is that you're like a part-time employee, your hours range, how do you budget? And I'll go through that with you guys as well, because that was my situation for like the first 3 years that I budgeted. But there's also salary employees where your income is the same every 2 weeks. And then also those of you who are self-employed, maybe you're a content creator or a freelancer, and obviously that will vary as well. My biggest tip for anyone whose hours or pay ranges is to lowball it as much as you can. I know it sounds like pretty obvious. Nothing worse than overshooting your income and then getting paid less and being like, wow, I'm screwed now and I can't pay my car payment or my car insurance, for example. So that way, if you get paid more than you think you do, you have a bit extra money to work with and you're never gonna screw yourself over. Give you guys like a good, I guess, example. So I, at my part-time job, make $27 an hour, and I worked 65 hours in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so that's a $1,755 paycheck. A lot of people will just write that down, but that doesn't include taxes and like all that kind of stuff. So let's take off $500, let's say. Now you're left with $1,255. So you can also go through previous pay stubs to see approximately how much, the percentage of taxes taken off, benefits in lieu of, etc., if you have any premiums. But work with that number. Let's say you get paid $1,400 instead, you have $145 extra to work with, and you can stick that in your savings or your debt or have it as spending money. So that's one of my biggest tips. I know I kind of went off on like a little tangent there, but I think that's so important. Last step, we went through our expenses, and now we're going to categorize them by variable and fixed expenses. So fixed expenses are the ones that stay the same amount every month. Your rent, your mortgage, your car payments, your car insurance, your phone bill, etc. Your variable expenses, there's 2 ways to categorize them. There is your variable bills, so things like water, hydro, electricity, property taxes, bills that vary a bit every month, and then your variable spending, which gas, groceries, eating out, restaurants, etc. The opposite of what we did with our income is we're going to overshoot on our variable expenses, because that way, let's say you budgeted $150 for electricity that month. I literally have no idea, that number just came out of nowhere. But it ends up being $120, you've saved yourself $30. Whereas let's say the opposite happens and you think that your electricity bill is gonna be $80 and it's $150, you might be scrambling to find that extra $70. So lowball the income, highball the expenses, and then everyone is happy. And usually there's a little bit of extra money. Might be pennies, it might be a little few dollars, but it's still better than not having enough. Now we are going to, very simply, I think people very much overthink budgeting, and it's very simple, is to get an idea of how much you have left over. We're going to take, very simply, different ways to do this. We're going to take our income minus all of our expenses, all of our bills. Don't add in any of your spending money, like your gas and stuff. Add in just your bills. So let's say I make $2,800 and all of my bills add up to $1,600. That gives me $1,200 left. Then with that remaining amount, we're gonna take out any variable expense that's spending, gas, groceries, eating out, etc. And let's say that totals $800 and that leaves you with $400. So now you know that roughly every month you'll have $400 extra that you can either put towards paying off debt, put towards saving, etc. This gives you a good idea. This is not the order you should be going into budget, but whatever works for you works for you. If you want to do it this way, go for it. The way that you, I don't want to say should do your budget, but the way I do it is income minus expenses minus savings equals spending. Paying yourself first is a very common statement in the financial world, and that basically means paying your future self first, paying your savings, paying your debt, paying more than your minimum balance on your debt. Paying yourself first, I think, is really important. But if you want to do it the other way around, that's totally fine. Literally, whatever works for you. Do not let the internet tell you how you should budget. I'm just giving you guys some tips and tricks. Leads me to my next tip, which is find a reasonable amount of money to save or pay off debt monthly. You might want to turn on your automated savings. If your works for you, do that. But now you have a rough idea of how much you can save every month. And let's say you want to save more. Let's say you want to save $6,000 this year. Obviously, we're going to divide that by 12 because there's 12 months in the year, $500 a month. So now you know that roughly right now you have around $400 left, but now you need to find somewhere to cut back maybe 100 or go back to your financial goals, figure out your financial why, and then from there you can tweak your budget as need be. So you're like, okay, I have $400 extra, but I need 500. Where can I cut back $100? Or even better, which is the way I like to think, where can I add $100 in? Where can I make an extra $100? Instead of reducing your income and your budget you have currently, where can you get extra money from? Can I pick up a side job? Can I start doing something on the internet? Can I start doing social media, etc.? Not everyone will look at it that way, and that's totally fine because maybe you have kids and you really only have time for a 9 to 5, and then you will need to kind of find a way to cut back to add that extra $100 in. But finding a reasonable and sustainable amount to save every month is great. Last tip I have for you guys is find what budget works for you. Trial and error, try a few things out. When I first started, I was looking up like budget with me videos on YouTube, and that's how I found a lot of people that used EveryDollar. There's apps like Mint and You Need a Budget, and I'm in Canada, so it's a little bit different, but I'm sure there's other great ones in the US. You can literally just use an Excel spreadsheet. You can find them on Etsy. You can find them on YouTube. I have a free Excel spreadsheet. You'll quickly learn that you're going to need to tweak things, and that's okay. And also a huge thing I want you guys to know is that you need to check in with yourself often and understand that things are going to change. Priorities are going to change. Emergencies are going to happen. Jobs change. Circumstances happen. Like shit happens. This is the real world. And I think it's really important to remember that, and that your budget might change. I talked about this in my last monthly reset, but I'd wanted to save $15,000 this year, or 10, I don't remember what it was. But we bought a house 7 months earlier than we expected, wiped out my savings. Then we just had like things come up every single month, and by the end of the year, I didn't save as much as I wanted to, and that's life. Like, what can you do about it now? You know what I mean? So I think it's really important to understand that and to be okay with that, and like let that sit with you and have peace about it. There's also different types of budgeting as well. So there's the zero-based budgeting, which is famous by Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey is a good place to start. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the things he says, like you shouldn't have credit cards, you shouldn't buy a house until all your debt is paid off, etc. But it's a good place to start, and he does follow the zero-based budgeting, which is where you allocate every single dollar in your budget a spot, which is the EveryDollar app. It'll literally say, you have $100 left after you've done everything. Where do you want this money to go? Every dollar should have a place. It can be restrictive like other things in life, but I think it's a great place to start if you overspend, or if you're starting to budget and you're trying to meet financial goals, to allocate every dollar. There's also the famous 50-30-20, which is that 50% of your income should go towards your needs, which is all of like your bills, your mortgage, your rent, your car, etc. 30% is your spending and 20% is your savings, or vice versa. But I think you really have to figure out what works for you guys and what your goals are. And yeah, I know I really didn't talk about debt in this video, but if you guys want a video all about how I paid off my student loan debt, or tips and tricks for paying off debt, I would love to do that for you guys. I think that'd be so much fun. But I really wanted to sit down today and tell you guys how to start a budget and keep it going to have it sustainable, effective, and non-restrictive. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps out so much. It helps my channel grow and it helps YouTube know that you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I upload 3 times a week on here: lifestyle, productivity, working 9 to 5, realistic, unfiltered life on YouTube, and of course the financial content that you guys obviously love. And without further ado, I will see you guys next time. Bye!